Hello everybody and welcome to part 23 of Learning to Draw with Andrew Loomis's Fun with a Pencil. We are continuing with a little bit more practice drawing the figure with clothing because it's not a concept that you can just grasp overnight. There's a lot involved, but we have studied we've studied all the individual parts. We've learned how to construct a little figure in our previous videos, and we have learned how to draw clothing, hands and feet, and so forth. This is the trick stuff, which expounds upon what we learned in page 75. This is a combination of things. So he's using trick stuff, basically a ball, a cube, and an egg, and you get a combination of characteristics. So let's just run through a couple of these. You got that ball, very simple. Then you've got the cube. Yours don't have to be exactly what he's drawn. And then the egg. Doesn't seem like you're gonna get much out of this character, but draw the center lines, stay with me, bear with me, he says. And then we've got just a really rough little hand. Kind of fun to just draw it quickly and not worry too much about the proportions, because at this point, really in the first, you shouldn't be worrying about that anyways. Draw a couple of legs. Create a base like this. How could we possibly get much out of this? But very quickly, you will see, I'm just gonna have a little fun with it, use a big pen here. Very quickly, you're gonna see how this can turn into something. Following the center line, he's added this tube, basically a cylinder, which in this case is not very defined by perspective. It's pretty much just two lines extending around the skeleton that we previously drew. And he hasn't changed the egg shape really much at all. Now what he has done, well, let me get these little feet in here first. It's already looking a lot more realistic just with that. You can start to see where he's going with this. Now, almost like a little Lego character, he's drawn this little suit on top of it going out over here. And then the suit, same thing happening on this side. Following that, it has its own perspective because we've drawn in three-dimensional shapes. Give that bad boy a hat, and soon you're gonna see how we are extracting a character out of very simple shapes. So now let's follow what we learned in the beginning of our series here. Getting that midline, following perspective. Of course, we're looking up at this character, so that's important. Draw a little button nose, some cheeks, the little outside contours, another part of that cheek, little cute little eyes like this, and the other section of the cheek. Put those little ears on there. Right now your boy looks like the singing snowman on Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, but let's just see how we can develop this character even more than we already have. The mouth is very funny here. Got this little V-shaped mouth. Now he's drawn what looks like a little bow tie here. And now we need to define and add some meat to those arms. These are more defined. You can see the curve there defines it as a cylinder. Same thing happens here. We're seeing that cylinder. This one, you can see already a fold of fabric on this one, and this one is just almost like he's holding a platter or some sort of thing. And here's where you can get pretty fancy with it. Draw the details of the fingers. Here holding a cigar. Okay. I do not support smoking in any way, but we're just following what Loomis drew here. All right, now, actually I'm not saying anything about smoking, honestly. Neither negative nor positive. That's not what this video is about. All right, so now let's take our other pen and draw a little more features to this character. Basically, he's elaborating on what we've drawn already. There's a lot of wrinkles here in this suit jacket that this character has. And then he's defined these little fingers, which are a lot easier to draw at this point because look, we've already done the majority of the work here. We've already defined the character very well in our previous layers, which is great. It almost seems like this character has like a double bow tie, which is pretty impressive. Okay, and then we got a nice little button shirt. This is like a vest underneath the jacket. And then Loomis has gone ahead and just shaded this, which honestly, if we're being honest, we would get there faster if we just took this pencil. Boom. Shade that guy out, and then you've got your character really coming to life here. It's drawn like one of those little ribbons around the center of the hat, and then some wrinkles here. Very interesting little character, but sometimes this happens in real life. He's got like these little shadows under here, and then really not a lot going on here, just a very simple shoes, front of the shoe like so. Look at how much we've done with just a simple shape. So this actually gets pretty fun. Let's draw the second one, this little boy. So we got, this one is 2 balls and a tin can. So he's got the 2 balls on either end, and then the tin can, which also could be seen as a cylinder, a basic cylinder, with these arms coming out. Almost looks like an insect of some sort, like an ant. Boy, it's summertime and we're starting to get ants coming in. So we gotta get those guys out of there. Then drawing the little axes of the face. And on top of that, like we'll use this big pen again because that worked out pretty well. We draw the little rough indicators of the face, the eyes, the nose, and this bad boy eyebrow. This guy's a naughty character already, I can tell. Little chin, cheeks, following that contour with the little ears. It's really more of a block ball head that we learned in the beginning parts than it is a divided ball and plane method, although we can't unsee the divided ball and plane method, so we're applying everything we learned really at that point. At this little hat, collar, and really he hasn't changed the cylinder too much. He has given this character these little shorts. It's a lot of fun. It's really a lot of fun to create, to play with see how the shapes influence the style of the character. Okay, and then we have little feet here planted on the ground. Again, little sleeves of the shirt here like this. This is like another cylinder. It's gonna be helpful for you to learn the cylinder if you haven't already, because that's a very rough cylinder, but basically what happens is you have a rectangle, you can think of it, because I've been doing so much with ellipses and circles and so forth, that you can take an ellipse out of this side and then see the perspective under there, take an ellipse out of this side, connect the length of it, and basically you have a cylinder extracted from a rectangle. Of course you can skip that step, but if you're having trouble with ellipses, that's a good way to, this is not the best cylinder, so don't use that as textbook, but cylinders are a great thing to learn. I didn't want to get too distracted by trying to perfect a cylinder when we're trying to learn how to draw this little character here. So I changed the angle of this character's arms a little bit, which is okay. His fists are held. Now we can go ahead and jump back to the pencil to shade this, define this little pants here. Pretty fun stuff. Drawing in, you can switch between media, drawing in these little wrinkles here. Of course, my character is a little different than his, and that's okay, because I'm learning. This character has these little socks that are hiked up, and they're like plaid, so you got like this pattern following the contours of the character's feet. And then he's got these little shoes, like so. Okay, and then he's got like this little collar around his shirt, And then this little interesting design from a bygone era. But we'll follow it because it looks pretty cool and it kind of suits this character. Okay. And then he's drawn then that little wrinkles in the shirt there. And really, at this point, he's defined the character's arms a little more, a little bit of the fingers, like so. And the character's hands are in fists, which saves us a little bit of the trouble of having to draw fingers. Let's draw in this little face a little more so that the hat is one of those hats again with a button on the top. Imagine that. And then we shade that guy in. Pretty fun. Exaggerating those little eyebrows a little bit and the shape of the head. Little cheeks and that little tiny mouth, which says a lot. Okay. A little bit of hair poking out underneath the hat. And then the little detail on the ear, but that's basically it. That's 2 characters drawn using trick stuff with the Andrew Loomis method, drawing our figures with clothing. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless you.